Chapter 204. The sun shines brightly. Beiming was stunned. Only then did he carefully examine the medicinal pills in the basin. Not only was the medicinal fragrance rich, but each pill had a pill pattern on it. They were all transcendent-grade medicinal pills. These were all refined by you. Beiming looked at Yun Chujio in surprise. Yun Chujio straightened her small body and was incomparably smug. Of course. Moreover, I used the broken pill furnace in the alchemy room to refine it. Not bad, right? Actually, refining pills is really simple. Sigh. I just casually refined it, and it actually had a 100% success rate. On top of that, it was all super grade. I really had no say in this. The corners of Beiming and the other two's eyes twitched. What did it mean to shine brightly just from a little sunshine? It was referring to people like Yun Chujio. However, her talent in alchemy was too shocking. Even a top-tier alchemist could not achieve a 100% success rate in every furnace, let alone a transcendent-grade pill. When Yun Chujio saw Beiming's shocked face, the pride in her heart swelled to an unprecedented level. With her little hands behind her back, she continued, "There's really nothing I can do about my talent. Although I only had a 60% success rate in the beginning, I'm smart. I know how to sum it up. I found a good method. So every furnace has a 100% transcendent grade success rate. Sigh, I don't have much of an advantage. I'm just smart." The corners of Beiming and the other two's eyes twitched even more. Beiming coughed dryly. "Black thing, what method did you use to increase the success rate?" Yun Chujio's eyes almost reached the back of her head. She said proudly, "The success rate is directly related to the purity of the herbs. I used my spiritual sense to probe into the furnace to observe the purity of the herbs." Before Yun Chujio could finish her words, Beiming flew into a rage. "Nonsense. This is simply nonsense. A person's spiritual sense is extremely fragile, and the temperature in the pill furnace is extremely high. Aren't you courting death?" Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. "Courting death? But I felt that the furnace was just warm, and my spiritual sense was very comfortable." Beiming's anger was instantly pushed back by Yun Chujio. He was neither angry, nor was he calm, which made it very uncomfortable. Beiming snorted, "Continue. Use your spiritual sense to observe the degree of purification of the herbs, and then increase the amount of herbs. It's that simple. It's not that I'm bragging. I wanted to produce pills of the same quality. Sigh, people are smart, but there's no way." And Feng and An's lips twitched. "Miss Gio, we know that you're smart even if you don't emphasize it. Do you have to praise yourself again and again? Do you think you're really that good?" Yun Chujio tried to persuade herself over and over again, but she still felt that it was not enough, so she asked the two, "And Feng, do you think that I have a talent for pill refinement? An, is it difficult to refine supreme-grade pills? Why do I feel that it's very simple? Do you think that with my talent, I can soon dominate the world? That, ninth miss, your subordinate has gone to stand guard. Your subordinate has gone to stand guard too." And Feng and An ran away as if they were escaping. "Ninth miss, it would be fine if you asked our excellency. Why did you ask us?" His excellency's eyes were cold. "If we don't leave now, we'll probably freeze to death." Yun Chujio touched her nose embarrassedly. "Am I that scary? Why did they all run away? Prince Charming, don't you think I'm very powerful?" Yun Chujio then remembered that there was still a gigolo behind her. "Yes, my idol. When I refine pills in the future, I'll eat half and sell half. Will I become very rich?" "Yes." Chapter 205. Was fooled. Seeing Beiming so cooperative, Yun Chujio was even more elated. She repeatedly praised herself in all sorts of ways. After a long time, Beiming faintly said, "The level of pill refinement is directly related to the level of spiritual power. No matter how talented you are, you can only refine level 2 pills at the 3rd level of spirit enhancement. No matter how expensive level 2 pills are, you won't be able to make a fortune." After Beiming finished speaking, he walked into the house, leaving behind a dumbfounded Yun Chujio. "Fuck. Gigolo, you did that on purpose. Why didn't you say that earlier? Why did you only say it after I gloated 13 times? Also, I'm at the 4th level spirit enhancement, not the 3rd level. Yin Chujia's inflated self-confidence was slapped back to its initial state by debiming. She dejectedly put the 3 basins of hemostasis pills into her storage ring, then squatted in the corner to fill up the mushrooms. Damn gigolo. He only knows how to bully me. If I can't beat him, I can hide. Humph. I've decided not to say a word to him. I'll suffocate him to death. Black thing, come in and have breakfast. Alright, I'm coming. Prince Charming. Did you bring me good food again? You're such a good person. Yin Chujio hopped into the house while muttering softly. What she said just now was invalid. The gigolo was still not bad. After breakfast, Yin Chujio massaged debiming's shoulder and said obsequiously, Prince Charming, do you have any extra spiritual beast bags? Give me one. I'll use it to store Little Black. Didn't I give you a lot of spiritual stones? Why don't you go buy one? Prince Charming, my taste is not as good as yours. What I bought is not as good as the one you gave me. Just give me one. Yin Chujio thought to herself. Who would buy a spiritual beast bag when you can get one for free? Do you think I'm stupid? 1 hour. Debiming said lightly. Okay. Yin Chujio pressed his shoulders hard. She could get a spirit beast bag in 1 hour. Was that not a good deal? Yin Chujio massaged him for an hour, and then stretched out her claws. My Prince Charming, it's been 1 hour. Give me the spirit beast pouch. Debiming looked at her. I only said that I'll let you massage for an hour. Did I promise to give you the spirit beast pouch? Yin Chujio was dumbfounded. Damn. She had always been the one who fooled others. She did not expect to be fooled by the gigolo. Damn it. It was really too damning. Debiming saw Yin Chujio puffing her cheeks in anger, and thought it was very interesting. He poked Yin Chujio's face with his finger, and laughed out loud as he walked out of the room. Yin Chujio was so angry that she was about to die. Gigolo, just you wait. It's not too late for me, little Jio, to take revenge. Sooner or later, I'll take back everything back, including the interest. I'll go to the library and come back at night. The more Yin Chujio thought about it, the angrier she got. She ran into the courtyard, and said something before running out of the courtyard in a huff. Debiming looked at Yin Chujio's back, and curled the corner of his mouth. It was quite fun when she was angry. Yin Chujio's anger came, and went quickly. After a while, she bounced back again. Yin Chujio had been reading in the library the whole day. It was not until sunset that she hopped toward the dormitory. Junior sister little Jio. I bought the medicinal herbs you asked me to buy for you. Let's go. I'll help you send them to your courtyard. Feng Ming chased after her excitedly. Yin Chujio opened her mouth, and was about to stop him. But Feng Ming had already run to the courtyard's door. Junior sister little Jio, hurry up. I've even brought you a lot of snacks. We haven't seen each other for a few days, and I have a lot to talk to you about. As soon as the miserable Feng Ming finished his sentence, he flew out like a kite. Chapter 206. I was wrong to be angry. Feng Ming was stunned by the fall. What happened? That's right. The same thing happened last time. Previously, he had also said a few words to junior sister little Jio, and he fell for no reason. Feng Ming got up and looked around, but he did not find anything unusual. Yin Chujio was 120% sorry. It must be the gigolo again. Poor senior brother Feng Ming. Why did you run so fast? Why couldn't you wait for me to finish my sentence? Senior brother Feng Ming. Did you trip and fall because you tripped on your left foot? Don't run so fast in the future. Yin Chujio stared at him and lied. Feng Ming. Feng Ming's heart was broken. Junior sister little Jio, did you do it on purpose? I, Feng Ming, already know how to ride a flying sword. Why would I trip by myself? Are you kidding me? Feng Ming rubbed his nose, and climbed up on his own. Yin Chujio wanted to prevent Feng Ming from entering the courtyard, afraid that debiming would do something. But Feng Ming just lifted his leg, and entered the courtyard. Then she looked around, but unfortunately, she found nothing except for Little Black perching on the tree. Feng Ming frowned. Did I really trip on my own? Senior brother Feng Ming, didn't you say that you bought medicinal herbs for me? Where are they? Yin Chujio quickly interrupted when she saw Feng Ming looking around. Feng Ming took out a few gunny sacks from his storage bag. Junior sister little Jio, why do you need so many medicinal herbs? I heard that the smoke from your pill refining caused the people in the pill refining room to choke. They are planning not to let you refine pills in the future. Humph. Let's see if they dare. If they dare to do that, it'll make their pill refining room never have a day of peace. Yun Chujio finished speaking and happily flipped through the medicinal herbs that Feng Ming had brought back. These were all grade 1 and grade 2 medicinal ingredients. She would go and concoct a few more pots of them another day. There was a lot more this time round, so it would be better to use a rice bucket. Junior sister little Jiao, keep these pastries and candied fruits to eat. Feng Ming took out a few paper packets and handed them to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio received them with a smile and placed them on the stone table. She started chatting casually with Feng Ming. Feng Ming felt a little cold and a little creeped out behind him. Feng Ming looked around suspiciously, but did not even see a shadow. It was really strange. It was like the previous time. What was going on? Junior sister little Jiao, it's getting late. I'll go back first. I'll come and play with you another day. Feng Ming really could not hold on any longer. If he stayed any longer, he would probably be frozen into an ice sculpture. Goodbye, senior brother Feng Ming. Yun Chujio waved her claws. She could not wait for Feng Ming to leave as soon as possible. It would be terrible if the gigolo got angry. Feng Ming walked away suspiciously. Di Baiming walked out of the house with a gloomy face. This grand disciple is really filial to you. He gave you both medicinal herbs and snacks. Di Baiming said as he waved his sleeve. The paper bag on the stone table instantly turned into a pile of dregs and scattered on the ground. Yun Chujio was about to fly into a rage when she saw Di Baiming slowly taking out pastries, candied fruits, and spiritual fruits from his storage ring and placing them on the stone table. Are those things for humans to eat? Come, eat these instead. Yun Chujio wanted to keep her integrity and resist the power, but she only lasted 0.01 seconds before eagerly leaning over. Prince Charming, you're absolutely right. There's no comparison. Compared to your good stuff, those are dregs. Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. Are you not angry with me anymore? If I don't give you the spirit beast pouch, would you still be angry? Prince Charming, it's wrong for me to be angry. You did me a favor. Not giving me anything is your duty. I've already taken so many good things from you. How can I be angry over a spirit beast pouch? Am I that calculative? Yun Chujio's face was full of righteousness. Chapter 207. Yun Chujio's love poems. Di Baiming curled the corners of his lips. Be good. Eat. Yun Chujio smacked her lips. Why did it feel like he was feeding a puppy? Di Baiming took out some food from his storage ring and placed it on the stone table. Yun Chujio immediately threw the puppy and kitten out of her mind and started eating happily. After dinner, Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. Let's go in and practice writing. Yun Chujio really did not want to practice writing. What was the use of doing that stupid activity? Other than writing love letters, she did not need it at other times. If she had the time, she might as well lie down for a while. Yun Chujio dawdled, took 3 steps, and 2 steps back before reluctantly entering into the house. My idol, can I not practice? Practicing is useless except for writing love letters to you. Di Baiming curled his lips. Then write a love letter. Yun Chujio touched her head. Oh my Prince Charming, my head hurts all over. Di Baiming was speechless. I originally planned to give you a spirit beast pouch if you wrote well. Since your head hurts so much, then forget it. Di Baiming sighed. Oh my, why doesn't it hurt all of a sudden? My head doesn't hurt anymore, my Prince Charming. Love letters are so boring. Let me write you a love poem. Yun Chujio suddenly became lively from her previously long-faced expression. Yun Chujio was afraid that Di Baiming would go back on his words, so she quickly picked up the brush and started to write. Ah, my prince. Your temperament makes me intoxicated. Your voice makes me cave. You are the snow on the high mountains. You are the sunset on the horizon. Although it is unattainable, but it makes people yearn for it. I am willing to be the little rock on the mountain. I am willing to be the little bird in the sky, just so I can get closer and closer to you. Even if the wind, frost, snow, and rain have smoothed out my edges, even if the lightning, thunder have cut off my feathers, I will have no regrets, and I will go forward bravely, Because I love you so intensely. Just like how a fish yearns for the sea. Just like how grass loves the land. Prince Charming, please let me say with deep affection, I love you. Yin Chujio blew on the ink and then said proudly, how is it? Isn't it written with great literary talent? It's both straightforward and deep. I'm really too talented. The reconciliation is not neat, and the words used are vulgar. However, seeing that you're still being serious, I'll just consider it as you passing the test. Although Di Biming said so, he still carefully put the paper that had just dried the ink into his storage ring and handed it to Yin Chujio with the spirit beast pouch. Yin Chujio happily took the spirit beast pouch and asked Di Biming how to use it. Then, she ran outside and started experimenting with Little Black. The miserable Little Black was sometimes brought in and sometimes released. After being tortured for a total of 49 times, Yin Chujio finally had enough and was willing to enter the house. Yin Chujio rolled her eyes. She had suffered a lot that day. She had to think of a way to reclaim her pride. Prince Charming, let's play chess. As usual, the loser sleeps on the ground. Di Biming raised his eyebrows. Sure, 3 out of 5 wins. Yin Chujio was full of confidence. Last time I was careless. This time, I must avenge myself. Dreams were often aspiring, but reality was not. Even though Yin Chujio was full of energy, she still lost 2 games in a row. The third game began. Yin Chujio saw that Di Biming's chess piece was already 4 in a row. She pretended to stagger and knocked over the chessboard. Oh my, I'm sorry. This game is ruined. We can only play again. Yin Chujio smiled like a little fox stealing a chicken. Let's see how you can beat me. Chapter 208. Di Mosquito. Di Biming raised his eyebrows but did not say anything. The battle started again. At the critical moment, Yin Chujio faked another fall and knocked over the chessboard. I might have eaten too much today. My brain is a little foggy, so I'm a little confused. Please forgive me. Yin Chujio's face was full of frustration, as if she had really knocked over the chessboard by accident. Di Biming still raised his eyebrows and did not say anything. The new round began. Yin Chujio was at a disadvantage again. Seeing that Di Biming was about to win again, she wanted to play the same trick again. Then, she sadly realized that she could not move anymore. Yin Chujio was so angry that she cursed in her heart. Shameless gigolo. He actually used a secret move. Di Biming took a sip of tea and slowly put down the chess piece in his hand. You lost. After Yin Chujio found that she could move, she glared at Di Biming fiercely and pretended to be relaxed. I lost on purpose. I like to sleep on the ground. Sleeping on the ground is more grounding. The bed is hard. I have slept enough. The corner of Di Biming's mouth curled, and he simply washed up before lying on the bed. Yin Chujio finished washing up angrily and spread a few blankets on the ground before jumping on them. Haha, look how fun it is. This is called a trampoline. You can't do that, right? Di Biming looked at Yin Chujio's red face and had the urge to take a bite. He waved his sleeve to extinguish the candle of annoyance. Why are you jumping around in the middle of the night? Go to sleep. Yin Chujio pouted. What a crazy pretty boy. I'll jump. I'll piss you off. Yin Chujio jumped a few times. Seeing that Di Biming had no reaction, she lay down dejectedly. I'm tired from jumping. I'm not afraid of you. After Yin Chujio cursed the gigolo dozens of times, she fell asleep sweetly. On the contrary, Di Biming's mind was filled with Yin Chujio's rosy little face. He was not sleepy at all. Di Biming gritted his teeth and got off the bed. He carried Yin Chujio to the bed and gently placed her on the side of the bed. Di Biming looked at Yin Chujio's sweet sleeping face, and his heart skipped a beat. The black thing seemed to have turned a lot paler. The originally tan skin color covered the delicate facial features. Now that it had turned a little fairer, the delicate facial features slowly become more prominent, especially those pink lips. Di Biming's throat tightened. He bent down and slowly moved his lips closer to Yin Chujio's lips. Then scram. Damn mosquito. In her sleep, Yin Chujio gave Di Biming a tight slap. Di Biming's mind was filled with lust, but he was sent flying by this slap. This was the first time Di Biming had been slapped by someone. He gritted his teeth and glared at Yun Chujio for a while before lying outside angrily. The next morning, Yun Chujio opened her eyes. After stretching her body, she giggled happily. Idol, I had a dream last night. I slapped a big mosquito to death. Ha! Idol, why is there a slap mark on your face? Di Baiming glared at her, but did not say anything. Yun Chujio used her right hand to measure the slap mark on his face, before covering her mouth. Fuck. I actually slapped the gigolo last night. Waha, this is so awesome. Why didn't I kill him with one slap? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes, and decided to change the topic, so that the gigolo would not flip out. Prince Charming, the weather today is pretty good. Don't stay in the yard. Don't you have a concealment talisman? Stick it on, and it'll bring you to the back of the mountain. It's not easy to get a concealment talisman. How can you waste it like this? Di Baiming said stiffly. However, after the two of them had breakfast, Di Baiming still frowned and activated the concealment talisman. He followed Yun Chujio, who was jumping up and down in front of him. Chapter 209. The stick has no hope of survival. Di Baiming looked at Yun Chujio, who was picking wild fruits, and felt that his head must have been kicked by a spirit beast. Not only was the concealment talisman expensive, it was also hard to buy with spirit stones. He actually wasted a concealment talisman, just like that. Black thing, didn't I give you a lot of spirit fruits? Why are you still picking wild fruits? Di Baiming saw that there was no one around, and said in a low voice. Each flavor has its own merits, just like meat and vegetables. Although vegetables are not as delicious as meat, you still have to eat some vegetables. Yun Chujio said as she stuffed a wild fruit into Di Baiming's mouth. Di Baiming frowned and tasted it. Although the taste was not as good as the spiritual fruits, it was still sour and sweet. Yun Chujio tilted her small head and asked proudly, Do you think it's okay? I'm telling you, this mountain is full of treasures. Not only are there wild fruits, there are also wild sweet potatoes. After being roasted, they're soft and sweet. It's really delicious. Look, there's a bush over there. Yun Chujio hopped over and started to dig with the rolling pin. The rolling pin was about to cry. It was an immortal item. It was an immortal item. It was an immortal item. She actually used it to dig for sweet potatoes? It was really insulting. How did it end up with such a master? The rolling pin suddenly felt that there was no hope. Yun Chujio had just put the wild sweet potatoes that she dug into her storage ring when Little Black said in her mind, Master, there's a level 2 gale deer in front. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. She had not eaten venison before, so she could hunt it to satisfy her craving. Yun Chujio carefully approached the place that Little Black had mentioned. Sure enough, there was a gale deer eating grass. Di Baiming wanted to see Yun Chujio's skills, so he stood aside and did not intend to interfere. Yun Chujio also wanted to show off, so she swaggered in front of the gale deer. The gale deer was shocked at first and prepared to run away, but after discovering that Yun Chujio was an ordinary person without any spiritual power, the gale deer showed off by digging the ground with its front hooves, hoping to scare Yun Chujio away. Yun Chujio sighed. Sigh, I don't want to eat you either, but I'm hungry. This is a world where the strong prey on the weak. Take this. Yun Chujio suddenly raised her hand, and a bolt of lightning shot straight at the gale deer. The gale deer was completely unprepared. Moreover, demonic beasts were naturally fearful of lightning, and it had struck directly on the gale deer's head. The gale deer let out a miserable cry. It actually died from both pain and fright. Yun Chujio was stunned. It could not take a hit. It choked on its fart with one move. She still wanted to show off a little more. Di Baiming was also stunned. This gale deer was at the early stage of the second stage, which was equivalent to a cultivator at the 4th level of spirit enhancement, but the black thing actually destroyed it with one move. If the opponent was a cultivator, would the black thing be able to challenge someone of a higher level? The gap between the cultivation levels was like a ravine. There were very few people who could challenge someone of a higher level. Could the black thing really do it? Yun Chujio did not know what Di Baiming was thinking. The only thing on her mind was roasted deer meat. She put the gale deer into her storage ring and hopped back. Prince Charming, let's go. Let's go back and roast the deer meat. As soon as Di Baiming and Yun Chujio entered the courtyard, an Yin rushed up and greeted, "Your Excellency." Yun Chujio was very tactful. She knew that an Yin had something to do, so she said, "Idle, you two can talk inside. And Feng and I will deal with the deer meat." Di Baiming nodded and entered the house. An Yin followed him in. It was not until the aroma of the roasted meat spread that Di Baiming and an Yin came out. "Black Thing, I need to leave for a period of time. It'll be at least half a year. And at most a year. Take these voice transmission talismans. Once you use them, you can only use them again after 3 days. Also keep this jade pendant well. It can withstand a fatal blow from a 9th-level spiritual sovereign realm cultivator. In the Azure Mystic continent, it's enough to save your life once. Also keep these 3 concealment talismans. As long as you're careful, no one below the 5th level of the spiritual sovereign realm will discover you. However, there's a 2-hour time limit. After I leave, try not to leave the Spirit Radiance sect. Don't cause any trouble. And don't come into contact with people who aren't trustworthy." At that point, Di Baiming gritted his teeth as he spoke. "That bird may be ugly, but his character is not bad. If you have anything to do, try to get him to do it. However, you must remember that you're an elder. Don't have any thoughts that you shouldn't have." Chapter 210. Aren't you going to marry him in the future? Yun Chujio's heart was bursting with joy. This is great. The gigolo is finally going to get lost. From now on, it'll be free. My Prince Charming, don't worry. I'll never leave the house. I'll be a good and virtuous girl. So, shouldn't you leave some currency for my living expenses? Di Baiming was originally a little sad about leaving, but he was angered by Yun Chujio's words. "Didn't I give you a lot last time? Why do you need so many spirit stones if you don't leave Spirit Radiance sect? If you stay good this time, I will give you more next time." Di Baiming was afraid that Yun Chujio would go out and show off when she had money, so he rejected her flatly. Yun Chujio pouted her lips. "Such a stingy gigolo. All right, then bring me more delicious food next time when you come, especially those petal-shaped pastries, and those glutinous rice fruits and—" Yun Chujio counted more than 10 kinds of food with her fingers. Di Baiming's remaining half of the sorrow was also gone. The thing she had been thinking about this whole time was either his spirit stones or his food. He was not in her heart at all. Yun Chujio noticed that Di Baiming's face was getting darker and darker. She changed the topic and said, "Prince Charming, give me a porcelain bottle. I'll drain some of my blood to save it for you so that the poison won't take effect. If you suffer, my heart will hurt. I would rather bleed myself than let you suffer, Prince Charming." Di Baiming's mood immediately turned from dark clouds to bright and sunny. He handed a porcelain bottle to Yun Chujio and said, "Just a little bit will do. I can withstand it." "No, my Prince Charming, just drink it. It's okay for me to give you more. I'll just eat more delicious food, and I'll make up for it." Yun Chujio was in a great mood. As long as the gigolo did not disturb her, what was there to be afraid of? She just took it as a voluntary blood donation. Yun Chujio did not care about Di Baiming's objection and filled a whole porcelain bottle of blood. However, Di Baiming mistakenly thought that Yun Chujio was worried that his cold poison would act up. He was so touched that he decided to finish his business as soon as possible to return to see the Black Thing. Although their understanding of each other was a little off, both of them were in a very good mood. After happily eating roast meat, Di Baiming left with An Feng and An Yin. When they reached a quiet place, Di Baiming stopped in his tracks. An Feng, although Black Thing has a temperamental personality, she shouldn't be in danger in Spirit Radiance sect because of Patriarch Linghua's words. If she wants to leave, you must think of a way to stop her. If you can't stop her, you must protect her every step of the way. Your Excellency, I'll protect Miss Jiu with my life. If anything happens to her, I'm willing to pay with my life. Di Baiming nodded and left with An Yin. An Feng carefully returned to Yun Chujio's courtyard and found a hidden place to secretly protect Yun Chujio. At this time, Yun Chujio was eating with Little Black in the rolling pin. "The gigolo is finally gone. You two weren't full just now, were you? Come, continue eating. Today is a good day. I can do whatever I want." Yun Chujio happily hummed a song. Little Black rolled his eyes. "Master, Why don't you ask the gigolo what he's doing? Tisk, I'm not asking. The more I know, the faster he'll die. When the gigolo's cold poison is cured, I'll break up with him. I don't believe that he can kill me, his savior. Yin Chujiu leaned back on the rattan chair and crossed her legs, feeling very uncomfortable. The little silver dragon asked in confusion, Master, don't you love Pretty Boy very much? Aren't you going to marry him in the future? Chapter 211. Yin Chujiu, do not care. Yin Chujiu sneered mockingly. Marry him? Do you think that the identity of a gigolo is simple? And Feng and Yin kept saying, Your Majesty and your Qingxian continent. Obviously, the three of them are not from Qingxian continent. Perhaps they're from the continent after the ascendance of a mighty figure. Putting aside the fact that our identities are so different, if I really liked someone, I wouldn't be afraid of some bullshit identity. Most importantly, do you think that the gigolo really likes me? The silver dragon was still confused. I think the gigolo treats you quite well, master. He gave you spirit stones and a ring. Yin Chujiu sighed. Little flame, you're so naive. Do you think that giving me something is love? I admit that the gigolo may have a good impression of me, but that was just curiosity and fun. It's like playing with a kitten or a puppy. If I go along with him, he will give me things. Once I do something that goes against his will, he'll turn against me. Do you think true love is like that? Between us, he's more like a master, while I'm more like a servant girl. It's possible that he'll still be a servant girl who warms his bed in the future. And Feng once said that the gigolo would take me as his concubine in the future. Concubine? This is simply a joke. How can I, Yin Chujiu, become the exclusive property and plaything of a gigolo? I, Yin Chujiu, don't care about a man who is shared with others. When Yin Chujiu said this, her mood dimmed. The pretty boy is so good-looking. I'm more or less tempted. But love is something that can't be easily ventured into. If it's not done right, it'll burn you to the ground. I want to be able to cross 100 flowers and not touch a single leaf. Moreover, I'm still young. My task now is to work hard to become stronger and bring the two of you to the peak of life. Life is a bird, and life is a stick. Although Yin Chujiu said it in a free and easy manner, she still felt a little stifled in her heart, so she decided to go to the pill refining room to refine pills. Yin Chujiu found old Huang and went to a few more classes. After greeting Yin Chuzi, she carried a big sack on her back and rushed to the pill refining room valiantly. When Manager Gao saw Yin Chujiu coming over, his heart started beating faster. Why was this little ancestor there again? The poisonous smoke last time had caused them a lot of trouble. Manager Gao thought for a moment and gave Yin Chujiu the jade token for alchemy room number 28. Since alchemy room number 28 was at the edge, even if there was poisonous smoke, it would not affect the rooms toward the inside. Yin Chujiu entered alchemy room number 28 and immediately opened the isolation array. Then, she began to refine the second-grade medicinal pill, hemostasis pill. The pill was slightly more effective than the previous ones. The medicinal herbs required were also slightly higher in grade. With the help of her spiritual sense, Yin Chujiu produced 10 super-grade hemostasis pills in the first batch. The strange grass in her dantian smelled the fragrance and immediately clamored to eat. Yin Chujiu was not in the mood to deal with it and instantly swallowed all 10 pills. After a while, the little black bird suddenly flew to Yin Chujiu's shoulder and rubbed against it repeatedly. Master, Master, the fragrance on your body is too good. Yin Chujiu pulled the little black bird away. Get lost. Can't you see that I'm busy? I didn't put on any fragrant powder, so where would the fragrance come from? Little flame, do you smell it? The rolling stick shook. No, I only smell the medicinal pill. Little Black glared at it with its possessed eyes and shouted, That's because your nose isn't working. There's clearly a very fragrant smell. Yin Chujiu thought Little Black was deliberately causing trouble, so she ignored it and continued to refine the blood coagulation pill. Little Black flapped its short wings angrily and flew to the side. There's obviously a very nice smell. Why didn't Master believe me? Chapter 212. The spirit bee went crazy. Yin Chujiu refined day and night, refining all the herbs that Feng Ming had brought for her into medicinal pills. Since there were so many of them, this fellow used the useless things to fill the pill. The rolling pin and Little Black were dumbfounded. From ancient times until now, only their unruly master dared to use pointless materials to fill the pill. As usual, Yun Chujio packed a bunch of miscellaneous things into the pill refining furnace, causing thick smoke to billow out. Only then did she withdraw the isolation array and rush out from the pill refining room with a sack of cabbages used as a cover. Cough, cough, cough. It's that damn Yun Chujio again. I'm choking to death. Cough, cough, cough. I must report this to Elder Qi and forbid this tan girl from coming to the alchemy room in the future. Achoo! Achoo! This Yun Chujio is really full of bad ideas. She clearly doesn't know how to refine pills, yet she has to come here to cause trouble. It's too detestable. Yun Chujio's mood inexplicably became a little better. She hummed a little tune as she went to Manager Gao and returned the jade token to him. Then she said with a smile, "I'll come back in a few days. This time, I brought a little less medicinal herbs. Next time I'll bring more." Manager Gao was about to cry. "How is this less? If you brought more, this alchemy room would not be able to serve other people." Yun Chujio carried the sack on her back and left the alchemy room. She did not sleep the whole night, but did not feel tired at all. Instead, she felt very energetic. Not long after she walked out, she heard a buzzing sound. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Yun Chujio frowned. What was that sound? Master, master, run. Little Black cried out in alarm. Yun Chujio was shocked. What's wrong? Little Black pointed to the west and saw a large group of spiritual bees flying toward Wu Yin like a big cloud. Yun Chujio pursed her lips. These spiritual bees must be going to some mountain to gather honey. What does it have to do with us? Before Yun Chujio could finish her sentence, the spiritual bees at the front were flying toward her. Yun Chujio was so scared that she cried out. She did not want question anymore and started to run away. Little Black, what's going on? Why are these damn spiritual bees attacking me? Master, I think it has something to do with the fragrance on your body. Master, why don't I set fire to them? No, there are so many of them. Before you finish burning them, I'd be stung and turned into a nest already. Yun Chujio said as she ran. Master, what should we do? These spiritual bees are very poisonous. If we get stung too many times, we'll lose our lives. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. She put the Little Black into her spirit beast pouch and quickly ran toward the pill refining room. This fellow shouted as she ran. Help! Help! The spirit bees have gone crazy. The two disciples guarding the door were shocked. They saw a large group of spirit bees chasing after Yun Chujio. What was going on? Although the spirit bees had a certain degree of offensive power, these spirit bees of the Spirit Radiance sect were all domesticated and rarely attacked disciples. Why did such a large group of them suddenly attack Yun Chujio? While the two disciples were still in a daze, Yun Chujio rushed over like a small whirlwind. As she ran, she shouted, "Run! The spirit bees are crazy." The two disciples did not dare to be negligent and quickly followed Yun Chujio into the house. Then they closed the door tightly. The spirit bees seemed to be risking their lives as they desperately crashed into the doors and windows. It seemed that they would not stop until they came in. Yun Chujio kept patting her chest. Oh my God! I was scared to death. I was so scared to death. Why are these spirit bees going crazy? The people in the alchemy room also ran over when they heard the noise. They were all dumbfounded. Manager Gao said in surprise, "These spirit bees are three-colored butterfly-wing bees. They would have been raised by servants. Why are they attacking cultivators for no reason? It's really strange." Chapter 213. The demon beasts also went crazy, Yun Chujio said innocently. Yeah, it's really strange. Luckily I ran fast or I would have died. Manager Gao frowned and took out a few porcelain bottles from his storage bag. Then he turned around and said to the workers, "The inside of the porcelain bottles is an insect repellent powder. Crack the window ajar and sprinkle the powder out." The workers carefully threw the insect repellent powder out. The spirit bees reluctantly retreated a distance. but they were still unwilling to leave. Just when everyone was puzzled, a disciple exclaimed, "Look! Heavens! Could it be that the demon beasts are also rebelling?" Everyone looked in the direction that the disciple pointed at and gasped. They saw some low-level demon beasts, such as the windblade rabbit, red-feathered chicken and gale deer, which originally lived in the back of the mountain, rushing toward the alchemy room. Seeing that the situation was getting serious, Manager Gao quickly activated the protective array of the pill refining room and ran to get Elder Qi. Manager Gao did not walk far before he met Elder Qi. Elder Qi's face was gloomy. "Why did you activate the protective array? What happened?" "Elder Qi, the situation is very strange. First, a large group of spirit bees attacked Yin Chujio for no reason, and now a large group of demon beasts are rushing toward our pill refining room. Could it be that a disciple has refined beast guiding powder?" Elder Qi frowned. "I've never heard of anyone refining beast guiding powder. Moreover, the back mountain is still quite a distance away from here. Even beast guiding powder doesn't have such great power." Manager Gao said in puzzlement. "Could it be that a beast tide is going to erupt?" Elder Qi's expression was solemn. If a beast tide really erupted ahead of time, it would be a major matter that concerned all the living beings in the world. When Elder Qi arrived at the forefront of things, he discovered that those low-level demonic beasts were like moths fluttering to the flame, desperately striking the array formation. Even if they were injured, they would not stop. Elder Qi was very puzzled. Something was not right. Even if it was a beast tide, these demonic beasts would not be so crazy. What exactly was going on? What everyone did not know was that at the same time, in the spirit beast garden on the western peak, all the demonic beasts began to become restless, constantly striking the array formation. If the array formation was not firm, those demonic beasts would definitely charge out. The beasts at the other 5 peaks, and the spirit bees in the herb garden, were also rapidly heading toward the pill refining room. The disciples of the Sprit Radiance sect were all dumbstruck. What was going on? Weren't these low-level demon beasts very timid? Why did they all run out from the back of the mountain? After receiving the report, Master Xianyuan and the other peak masters quickly arrived outside the pill refining room at Middle Peak. The spiritual bees and demonic beasts were afraid of their high level of spiritual power, so they did not attack them. Instead, they kept attacking the protective array of the pill refining room. After forcing back a portion of the demonic beasts, Master Xianyuan and the other peak masters entered the pill refining room and began to ask Elder Qi about the situation. Seeing that the situation was getting worse, Yin Chujio felt a little uneasy. Seeing that no one was paying attention to her, she sneaked to a corner and began to look inside her dantian. When Yin Chujio saw the situation inside her dantian, she was so angry that she wanted to bang her head against the wall. She saw that the leaves of the weird grass were like a human's finger, continuously pulling and pulling. It was very likely that those demonic beasts were attracted by it. The grass noticed Yin Chujio's spiritual sense and shook it proudly, showing off a little. "You better stop right now. Otherwise, don't even think about eating pills in the future." Yin Chujio was anxious and directly said with her spiritual sense. She thought that the weird grass did not understand, but she did not expect that the weird would really stop moving. Chapter 214. Elder Qi went crazy too. Yin Chujio was stunned. Did this damn grass really understand me? Yin Chujio used her spiritual sense to comfort it. "Be good and listen to me. There are a lot of super-grade blood coagulation pills in my storage ring. They're all yours. In the future, they'll refine even higher-grade pills. As long as you don't cause trouble, they're all yours." The weird grass waved its leaves a few times in a decent manner. It should mean that it agreed. Yin Chujio's heart felt as if 10,000 divine beasts were whizzing past it. Damn it, what exactly was growing in her dantian? How was this just grass? It was fucking smarter than a human. Yin Chujio retracted her spiritual sense and sneakily walked out from the corner. She heard a disciple shouting, "Huh? Those demonic beasts have stopped attacking the array formation. Yeah, look at those in the distance. They've turned around and ran back." Yin Chujio moved forward to take a look. She saw that those demonic beasts had a confused look on their faces. They seemed to not understand how they had ran all the way there. After looking at their surroundings, they all ran away. These demonic beasts came quickly and retreated even faster. In a short while, they had all disappeared without a trace. Master Xianyuan and the other peak masters were confused. What was going on? Everyone discussed for a while, but could not find the reason. They could only send their disciples to the mountains to inspect if there was anything unusual. Yun Chujio saw that Master Xianyuan and the others had left. Just as she was about to sneak away, Elder Qi coughed and said, "Yun Chujio, come here. I have something to ask you." Yun Chujio's heart tightened. Could she have been discovered? Did she give herself away? Yun Chujio nervously followed Elder Qi into Manager Gao's house. Ding Lang and the others winked at each other with gloating expressions on their faces. They also followed in. Elder Qi did not stop them and allowed everyone to enter the house. "Yun Chujio, I heard that every time you refine pills, you would create a house full of poisonous smoke. What are you trying to do? Don't go to the pill refining room to cause trouble in the future." Ding Lang had often whispered in Elder Qi's ear. So not only did he say that Yun Chujio had wasted the resources of the pill refining room, he had even created the matter of the poisonous smoke to cause trouble. When Yun Chujio heard this, she immediately felt relieved. So it's this matter. Then it would be easy to handle. Elder Qi, you're being wronged. It's a 1,000-year-old injustice. Although I don't have spiritual power, I'm still a good child who has self-respect and ambition. I admire Elder Qi's achievements in refining pills very much. If we were to talk about who I admire the most in Spirit Radiance sect, it would be you, Elder Qi. An alchemist. What a sacred profession. I just wanted to give it a try. What if I succeed? I didn't expect that someone would maliciously slander me. I've only burned the herbs. Do you need to slander me for making poisonous smoke? If it's poisonous smoke, why is everyone alive and kicking? Not a single one of them died. Ding Lang and the others by the side nearly vomited blood from anger. It turned out that only their deaths could prove that she had made poisonous smoke. Elder Qi was not too upset. Firstly, Yun Chujio's words were very agreeable to him, and secondly, he had always liked hard-working disciples. He pondered for a moment. Haste makes waste. Since you like refining pills so much, you can use your free time to help me take care of my spirit herb garden. Ding Lang and the others simply could not believe their ears. What? Not only did he not punish Yun Chujio, he actually asked her to help take care of the spirit herb garden? Elder Qi's herb garden grew high-grade spirit herbs, and Elder Qi had always taken care of it himself. Even personal disciples like Ding Lang were not allowed to enter and leave as they pleased. Who would have thought that Yun Chujio, this trash, would actually help take care of it? Could it be that Elder Qi, like those demonic beasts, had gone crazy? Chapter 215. Fattened pigs. Of course, Elder Qi was not crazy. He remembered that during the lecture previously, even though Yun Chujio was not paying attention, her answers to the questions were very accurate. He planned to take the opportunity to observe and see what was going on. Yun Chujio did not expect that Elder Qi would actually make such a request. After thinking about it, she happily agreed. Firstly, she could get close to Elder Qi and see if she could catch Ding Lang. Secondly, she could learn more about medicinal herbs. There was a difference between what was recorded on the jade slip and what was actually done. Yun Chujio originally wanted to follow Elder Qi directly to the spirit herb garden. However, when she thought of the sacks that she had thrown away in a panic, she decided that it would be better to pick them up first. It was not that she felt sorry for the sacks of cabbage, but she was afraid that they would be exposed. After greeting Elder Qi, Yun Chujio hopped out of the pill refining room. When she arrived at the place where the sacks were thrown away, Yun Chujio was overjoyed. When the large group of demon beasts left just now, they coincidentally tore the sacks into pieces. The cabbage inside had long been eaten up by the wind blade rabbits and the likes. There were only some fragments of the sacks on the ground. Yun Chujio pulled the sacks of fragments together and put them into her storage ring, then went to look for Elder Huang. When Elder Huang heard that Elder Qi asked Yun Chujio to help take care of the herb garden, he was instantly overjoyed. Without waiting for Yun Chujio to say anything, he took the initiative and said, You don't have to worry about the big kitchen. Just go to Elder Chi's place. If you perform well, Elder Chi might be able to cure your problem of not being able to cultivate. Thank you, Elder Huang. I'll definitely do a good job. I won't let you lose face. Yin Chujio then thought to herself, I can cultivate even without his treatment. Elder Huang could not help but nod his head. He then specially instructed, I heard that Elder Chi's spirit herb garden is filled with high-grade herbs. Every single one of them is expensive. You must be careful and not cause any trouble. Elder Huang, don't worry. I'm the most obedient. How could I possibly cause any trouble? Yin Chujio said with a smile. That's good. That's good. The two of them chatted for a while more before Yin Chujio bade farewell and returned to her own courtyard. Yin Chujio was very depressed. She felt that there were traces of the gigolo everywhere. He had sat on the stone bench before, and he had also used the stone table before. There were also memories of the gigolo everywhere in the house. Yin Chujio walked around the house in frustration. She recited a few times that empty space was lust, and death was emptiness. Then, she sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate. The grass in her dantian kept releasing the power of lightning. Yin Chujio used it for herself after cultivating. This way, her cultivation speed would be much faster. Yin Chujio felt that she would be able to break through again very soon. However, Yin Chujio always felt that she was a pig and was being fattened by someone. When she was fat enough, she would be slaughtered for the new year. Therefore, she desperately wanted to become stronger. Only by becoming stronger did she have the possibility of controlling her fate. Early the next morning, Yin Chujio hopped into the alchemy room. Manager Gao's head hurt when he saw Yin Chujio. He always felt that this little ancestor would stir up some trouble whenever she came. Although the demon beast riot the day before was not conclusive, he somehow felt that it was related to this little girl. Manager Gao felt that he was thinking too much. She was just a little girl without spirit energy. He must be thinking too much. Good morning, Manager Gao. Are you too happy to see me? We can see each other more often in the future. Ha ha ha. The corner of Manager Gao's mouth twitched. I'll take you to see Elder Chi. The two of them passed through the alchemy room and walked some distance before they saw a thatched cottage. Yin Chujio curled her lips. This Elder Chi was too stingy. Did he not say that alchemists were the richest? Why did he have such dilapidated accommodation? Chapter 216. I want to eat grass. Yin Chujio quickly realized that she had made a huge mistake. After entering, she realized that there was an illusion array set up, and there was another world inside. Other than Elder Chi's own courtyard, there was a large spiritual herb garden behind. The outer area was planted with some low-grade profound rank herbs, and the small courtyard in the middle was the spiritual herb garden. The herbs planted inside were all above middle-grade black category herbs, and there was no lack of earth-grade herbs among them. Manager Gao sent him off and turned to leave. Elder Chi threw a jade slip to Yin Chujio. Memorize the contents first, then I'll come find you. After saying that, Elder Chi went into the house. He thought to himself, this jade slip recorded 100 volumes of medicinal herbs. The black girl would need at least a few days to memorize them, which would just dampen her spirit. An hour later, Yin Chujio stood outside the house and shouted, Elder Chi! Elder Chi! I've memorized them. Elder Chi walked out with a frown. Nonsense! It's only been an hour. What can you remember? Yin Chujio blinked her eyes. But I've really memorized them all. Good, good. Then I'll test you. If you lied to me, you're not allowed to come again in the future. Elder Chi felt that Yin Chujio must be lying, and he was very displeased. Yin Chujio straightened her small body and looked very confident. Elder Chi became even angrier when he saw her. He asked, what is the companion beast of the Daphne ceracea? The gold-hooped short-tailed snake. How many petals does the red peony have? 16 petals below 100 years old, and 2 more petals every 100 years. What is the companion beast of the Corydalus yanhosuo? To be precise, it should be called a companion insect. It's a scarlet bee flying ant. Elder Chi asked more than 20 questions in one breath, and Yin Chujio answered them all very accurately. Have you read this 100 volumes of medicinal herbs before? Elder Chi asked suspiciously. Elder Chi, to be honest, although my aptitude is a little useless, I can remember everything I see and hear. Yin Chujio said with a smile. She had her own thoughts. If I didn't show any unusual abilities, Elder Chi might not be able to keep me. I'd better show a snippet. Sure enough, Elder Chi sized up Yin Chujio in surprise and said with a sigh, "It seems that the saying is good. The heavens won't starve a blind sparrow to death. Your ability is really strange." The corner of Yin Chujio's eyes twitched. Why did she feel that this metaphor made things awkward? All right, since you've remembered it, I'll take you to the spirit herb garden. I'll explain some things to you on the spot. Elder Chi loved talent, and he felt that Yin Chujio's ability was indeed rare. Although she did not have spiritual power, she could still be a little medicine girl if she had the ability. Just as they entered the outer perimeter of the spirit herb garden, the strange grass in Yin Chujio's dantian was clamoring to pounce on those medicinal herbs. Yin Chujio was so angry that she used her spiritual sense to curse. You better fucking stop. There'll be plenty of opportunities in the future. Only then did the strange grass in her dantian stop a little, but it faintly revealed a displeased expression. Strange grass. Yin Chujio was puzzled. Although that strange grass could not speak, she could faintly sense some of its emotions. The level of the medicinal herbs in the outer area isn't too high. You only need to take care of them, according to the 100 volumes of medicinal herbs. I have carefully gathered all the medicinal herbs in the spirit herb garden. You must take care of them according to the method I taught you. You must not act on your own initiative. If anything goes wrong, I won't forgive you. Elder Chi said very seriously. At this moment, Yin Chujio was about to go crazy from the strange grass torture in her dantian. The emotions that she had just suppressed began to churn again. She wanted nothing more than to pounce on those high-level herbs and take a few bites. Chapter 217. The thief who stole the spirit herbs. Yin Chujio cursed angrily. Listen, strange grass. If you continue to show off, it'll cut open my stomach right now. I don't believe that if I throw away my dantian, I still won't be able to get rid of you. The strange grass was stunned for a moment, then its 2 leaves drooped down and finally stopped. Elder Chi saw Yin Chujio's small face and thought that she was afraid. Thus he comforted her. As long as you strictly follow my instructions, I won't mistreat you. Although you don't have spiritual power, you can still live for a few more decades by taking some life-extending pills. Yin Chujio came back to her senses and laughed dryly. Elder Chi, I'll definitely take good care of these herbs. Don't worry. Elder Chi nodded and gave her a few more instructions. He handed Yin Chujio a jade token before leaving. After Elder Chi left, the strange grass in her dantian started to act up again. It kept shouting that it wanted to eat those high-grade herbs. Yin Chujio sneakily looked around before walking to the most plentiful herb. She carefully tore off a leaf and wolfed it down. The grass in her dantian happily held the leaf and chewed it. This is the only time. It won't happen again. Elder Chi knows the number of spirit herbs in this spirit herb garden. Yin Chujio said as her eyes lit up. There were a few high-grade herbs in the spirit herb garden, but there were no low-grade black-grade herbs in the outer area. There were herbs in there that could be used to refine spirit-gathering pills. She might as well secretly put some into her storage ring every day. Then, when she reached the 5th level of spirit enhancement, she could refine spirit-gathering pills. It just so happened that she could help 4th brother and the others with their cultivation. Thus, Yin Chujio secretly picked a few herbs every day and hid them in her storage ring. She knew very well that she could not just pick 1 leaf, so she picked 2 leaves and 1 flower. In addition, Elder Chi did not pay much attention to these outer area spirit herbs. A month had passed and Yin Chujio's storage ring had already accumulated nearly 2 sacks of herbs. In order to prevent the strange grass in her dantian from causing trouble, Yin Chujio would swallow a bunch of super-grade blood coagulation pills before going to the herb garden. After the strange grass was full, its reaction would be less intense when it saw high-grade herbs again. On this day, Yin Chujio had just arrived at Elder Chi's courtyard. His expression was solemn as he instructed Yin Chujio. The earth grade, High-quality golden thread grass fruit in the spirit herb garden will ripen today. I have urgent matters to attend to, otherwise, I would personally take care of this. You must guard it at all times. Once the fruit turns from red to purple, immediately put it into this jade box. Yin Chujio nodded. Elder Qi, don't worry. Oh, guard it at all times. Elder Qi reminded her a few more times before he left in a hurry. Yin Chujio did not dare to be negligent. She took out a few pills from her storage ring and swallowed them to prevent the strange grass from causing trouble. Only then did she enter the spirit herb garden and find the golden thread grass. She sat on the ground and stared intently at its fruit. Seeing that the red fruit was slowly turning purple, Yin Chujio took out the jade box. Just as she was about to put the fruit into the jade box, the fruit mysteriously disappeared. Yin Chujio was stunned. What was going on? Hey, which shameless person stole the fruit? What kind of brave soul is hiding himself? If you have the ability to do this, get out here. Yin Chujio was trying her best to do her job. No thief would take the initiative to show up. Unexpectedly, after Yin Chujio shouted, a deep and seductive voice said, "You're quite brave. No wonder the immortal item recognized you as its master." Chapter 218. The Devil in Red. Yin Chujio was shocked and quickly took a few steps back. Then, she saw two people appear out of thin air in front of her. Although they were two people, Yin Chujio's gaze was absolutely attracted to one of the men in red. Although the man was dressed in red, he did not seem out of place at all. On the contrary, there was a hint of charm mixed in his handsomeness. His long ink-colored hair was casually scattered behind his back, and he was playing with a skull in his hand. Although he was doing such a terrifying thing, it made people feel that it was pleasing to the eye. The man behind him was dressed in black, and he was holding a jade box in his hand. It was obvious that the fruit had been plucked by him. Although Yin Chujio pretended to be obsessed with the man's beauty, she quickly evaluated her moves in her heart. She was really stupid. Why was she shouting? She should have turned around and run away just now. It was obvious that these two people were not to be trifled with. They seemed to be on par with the gigolo and the others. They probably used a concealment talisman just now. How was she going to escape now? They would not kill her to silence her, would they? She did not know if this stupid lightning strike of hers would be effective. Moreover, that red-clothed evildoer said something about an immortal tool recognizing its owner. Did he recognize the rolling pin? Could it be that he wanted to commit murder and snatch the pin away? My two lords, do you need any other spirit herbs? Let me introduce them to you. I'm very familiar with this place. In a while our elder Qi will be back, so you must hurry up. Yin Chujio said with a smile. It was as if the person who had just said those harsh words was not her. The red-robed man was stunned for a moment, and then he smiled wickedly. Interesting. There are really not many people who dare to play tricks with me. I didn't expect that a little beauty like you would have such guts. My lord, you flatter me. How can I be considered a beauty? I'm just a servant guarding the herb garden. If you need any spirit herbs, I'll pick them for you right away. The corner of Yin Chujio's eyes twitched. Could it be that this red-robed evildoer had bad eyes? He actually called her a little beauty. The red-robed man laughed in a low voice. Of course you're a beauty. Those ordinary people can only see the appearance. Only I can see the essence through the skin. Your skull is very perfect, and you'll definitely be a great beauty in the future. However, I think bones without flesh and blood are more beautiful. Come, I'll help you right now. The expression on the man in red suddenly changed as he reached out his right hand to grab Yin Chujio. Although Yin Chujio kept talking to the man in red, she was always on guard. Although his actions was very sudden, Yin Chujio forcefully jumped to the side. Little beauty, I didn't expect you to be so agile. It's useless. Your skull is going to be mine today. The man in red waved his hand. Yin Chujio sadly realized that she could not move, just like how she was restrained by the gigolo back then. The man in red slowly walked in front of Yin Chujio. He reached out his right hand and caressed Yin Chujio's face. TSK, this skin and flesh is really rough. If you remove them, the skull inside will definitely be perfect. Little beauty, on account of your beauty, It'll allow you to choose a way to die. Do you want me to use poison to corrode your skin and flesh? Or do you want me to cut off your head with a sword? I can choose any way to die. Are you a man of your word? Yin Chujio asked in a trembling voice. Of course. I'm a man of my word. Little beauty, how do you want to die? The man in red crushed the skull in his hand and stared at Yin Chujio's head with great interest. Yin Chujio forced a sentence from her mouth. I want to die of old age. Chapter 219. The pervert in red. The man in red was stunned for a moment before he laughed out loud. Die of old age. Creative. As expected of the skull that I took a fancy to. You want to die of old age? It's very easy. I have the aging pill here. As long as you take it, you'll become an old woman in 15 minutes. As the man in red spoke, he took out a pill from his storage ring and stuffed it into Yin Chujio's mouth. Yin Chujio obediently took the pill, and her little face scrunched up. My lord, I've already taken the pill. Can you release me from my confinement? This is my only wish before I die. The man in red waved his hand. It'll satisfy you. I've always been very generous to beauties I like. Yin Chujio moved her limbs and sure enough, there were no obstructions. She secretly communicated with Little Black with her consciousness, and then ran away. The man in red was stunned. Just as he was about to chase after her, he suddenly stumbled and almost fell. When he stood up, Yin Chujio had already ran more than 1,000 feet away. You dare to lie to me? You're really courting death. I'll cut you into pieces. The man in red curled the corner of his mouth and formed a seal with his hands. He threw several huge wind blades at Yin Chujio. Just as those enormous wind blades were about to slash onto Yin Chujio's body, the jade pendant in Yin Chujio's hand emitted a dazzling light, forming a spiritual energy barrier that enveloped Yin Chujio. Those wind blades were unable to even go half a step near her. The red-clothed man was stunned. This little beauty had quite a number of treasures on her. Although he did not use his full strength, ordinary spiritual weapons were unable to block his attacks. Yin Chujio took this opportunity to run as fast as she could. As she ran, she shouted, Someone! Help! There's a red-clothed pervert who wants to rob the spirit herb garden. Just as the man in red was about to chase after her, the black-clothed man behind him said respectfully, Young master, don't chase after the enemy. Our spiritual power is limited in the Qingxian continent. If those elders rush over later, we'll be outnumbered and won't be able to take them on. Forget it. She can live for 3 days at most after taking the aging pill. Take it as the price for deceiving me. It's just a pity for that perfect skull. I originally planned to make a few of them, just like that for me to play with. Since she wants to court death herself, then I can only blame her bad luck. The man in red smiled wickedly. Then, he took out a skull from his storage ring and played with it. Young master, since you only planned to imitate the little girl's skull, why did you have to scare her? If you were to tell the truth, she wouldn't have run away. The black-clothed man asked in confusion. Do I need to explain what I'm doing to you? The smile on the red-clothed man's face instantly disappeared, and he stared at the black-clothed man gloomily. Your subordinate is guilty. The black-dressed man took out a dagger from his storage bag and stabbed it into his abdomen. The red-dressed man waved his sleeve, and the black-dressed man's dagger fell to the ground. This will not happen again. At that moment, the sound of footsteps could be heard, and the red-dressed man and the black-dressed man instantly disappeared from where they were. When Manager Gao came with a group of disciples, they did not see a single shadow. Ding Lang pursed his lips. Yin Chujio, where's the red-clothed pervert? Could it be that you're playing a prank again? Yin Chujio could not be bothered with him. She said to Manager Gao, Manager Gao, Elder Qi isn't here, and those two people have great spiritual power. It's better to quickly report this to Peak Master. I'm afraid that they'll do something bad in Spirit Radiance sect. Manager Gao saw that Yin Chujio's face was ashen white, and he did not think that she was lying. He quickly reported this matter to Peak Master Yu. Chapter 220. Give me 180 defensive spirit tools. Peak Master Yu quickly brought a few elders to the spirit herb garden. The footprints on the ground are very shallow. It can be seen that the person's spiritual power is at least at the 5th level of the Spirit Emperor realm. These medicinal materials and branches on the ground were the work of that red-clothed man? Yin Chujio, tell me what you saw. Peak Master Yu looked at Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio nodded. She told him the story that she had already made up. Elder Qi asked me to keep an eye on the fruit of the golden thread grass. Once it turns from red to purple, he'll put it into the jade box. I naturally have to do my duty. Thus, I didn't dare to relax for even a moment. I didn't expect that the fruit would actually mysteriously disappear in front of me. I was anxious at that time. I cursed loudly at the wicked person who stole our Spirit Radiance Sex Spirit herbs. Then, a red-clothed pervert and a black-clothed man appeared. That red-clothed pervert was playing with the skull in his hands. He even wanted to kill me and play with my skull. I was almost scared to death. Fortunately, I was quick-witted, so I ran away without saying anything. That red-clothed pervert sent out a bunch of wind blades to slash me. I don't know if he was afraid of hurting my skull, but he actually didn't aim it at me. Instead, he slashed the medicinal herbs. Everyone was extremely shocked. A person who played with a skull really was a pervert. Peak Master Yu furrowed his brows tightly. I've never heard of such a person. Could it be a newly rising power? Yin Chujio, follow me to see Master Xianyuan and report this matter to him. Yin Chujio eagerly followed Peak Master Yu to Master Xuanyuan's and told him everything. Then, she took the initiative and said, Master Xianyuan, I remember the faces of those two people. I'll draw them. This way, I can inform the other sects to guard against this red-clothed pervert. Although Master Xianyuan did not really believe that Yin Chujio could draw anything decent, seeing her positive attitude, he did not want to discourage her. So he said, then you can go back and slowly draw them. When you're done, just hand them over to me. No need. I'll just draw here. Just help me prepare a piece of charred charcoal and a few pieces of paper. Yin Chujio wanted to show off a little, wanting to do so in the presence of Master Xianyuan. Very soon, a few pieces of charred charcoal and paper were given to Yin Chujio. An hour later, Yin Chujio handed the 2 finished drawings to Master Xianyuan. Yin Chujio naturally did not draw as meticulously as she did de-biming this time. She only roughly sketched out the appearance of the 2 men in red. Even so, it still shocked Master Xianyuan and Peak Master Yu. This kind of ability was comparable to a shadow stone. With these 2 paintings, at least the various sects would be on guard against them. Master Xianyuan also gave orders to strengthen the inspection of the various peaks. Although the other party's spirit energy was superb, if there were any problems, they would at least be able to provide timely assistance. After arranging everything, Master Xianyuan saw that Yin Chujio had not left yet, so he said, you should go back. That red-clothed man probably wouldn't come to Spirit Radiance sect again for now. You can rest assured. Yin Chujio pursed her lips. That's hard to say. Master Xianyuan, I suffered such a great fright in order to protect the sect's property. If I hadn't run away quickly, I would have lost my life. Aren't you going to give me 180 spirit tools to protect myself? If I die, you won't be able to answer to my master in the future, right? The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched slightly. Spirit tools require spiritual power to be activated. You don't have any spiritual power, so how are you going to use it? Just because I don't have any spiritual power now doesn't mean I won't have it in the future. Besides, don't tell me there are no spirit tools that don't require spiritual power to be activated. For example, a spirit tool that automatically activates when it encounters a spiritual power attack? Yin Chujio cursed inwardly. What an old fox. However, I, little ancestor Yin, am not easily fooled. Chapter 221. Was rather good-looking Master Xianyuan choked, and had no choice but to take out a bracelet from his storage ring. This is a phoenix-patterned enshrouding bracelet. It's a high-grade spirit tool that will automatically protect its master when it encounters a spirit energy attack. Before Master Xianyuan could finish speaking, Yin Chujio snatched the bracelet away. Thank you, Master Xianyuan. Aren't bracelets always a pair? Give me that one too. Otherwise, how pitiful would it be if there's only one? Master Xuanyuan's face stiffened. I only have this one. All right. If there's none, then there's none. am not that greedy a person. Peak Master Yu, something happened to me on Middle Peak. Don't you have something to show for it? Yin Chujio stretched out her small claws pitifully. Peak Master Yu was originally watching Master Xuanyuan's excitement with interest, but he did not expect Yin Chujio to make such a scene, so he could only laugh dryly. He took out a white jade hairpin from his storage ring and handed it to Yin Chujio. This is the exquisite cold jade hairpin. It's also a high-grade spirit tool that can automatically activate when it encounters a spirit attack. Yin Chujio's hair was shoulder-length now, so she happily stuck the hairpin into her hair bun. After thanking him, she hopped away. Master Xianyuan and Master Yufeng looked at each other. For some reason, they felt that Yin Chujio really had a high chance of getting into the top 10 in the disciple test. It was not that she had much strength, but her ability to climb up ranks was truly unrivaled. The two of them felt an incomparable pain in their hearts. That was a high-grade spirit weapon. Plus, it was a high-grade spirit weapon that could activate itself. That was a life-saving weapon. Even if it was a true disciple, they would not be willing to give it away. Yin Chujio did not care whether they felt pain in their hearts or not. Seeing that it was getting late, she immediately returned to the dormitory. After all, there was Manager Gao keeping an eye on the spirit herb garden. As for the aging pill, Yin Chujio did not take it to heart. It had long been nibbled away by that strange grass. Yin Chujio was a little worried that Elder Qi would go crazy the next day when he returned. However, she had a big heart, and was only worried for a while before forgetting about it. Instead, she took out the jade pendant that Di Biming had given her, and looked at it. Seeing that there was a tiny crack on it, she felt a little pained. This time, it was all thanks to the gigolo's jade pendant. Otherwise she would really have died. Speaking of which, it had been a long time since she had contacted the gigolo. She did not know if the voice transmission talisman would work. Perhaps I should try it out. Yin Chujio took out a voice transmission talisman and followed the method that Di Biming had taught her. She sent her divine sense into it. Cough, cough. Prince Charming, I haven't seen you for a few days. Do you miss me, Yin Chujio, who is as beautiful as a flower? I have something to tell you. Today, two people came to the spirit herb garden. One of them was dressed in red, and the other one was in black. The one dressed in red was quite good-looking, but it's a pity that he's a pervert. My Prince Charming, the jade pendant you gave me has a tiny crack on it. You won't blame me, right? Yin Chujio told him everything, then withdrew her spiritual sense, and held her chin as she waited for Di Biming's reply. The miserable Di Biming did not tell Yin Chujio that there was a time limit to the voice transmission talisman recording. Yin Chujio's words were coincidentally stuck at, the one in red was pretty good looking. The rest of her words were not recorded at all. Di Biming had been holding back from contacting Yin Chujio. Finally, he realized that the voice transmission talisman in his storage ring was trembling. He was so excited that his palms were sweating. He sent his divine sense into it while trembling slightly. Then he heard, cough, cough. Prince Charming, I haven't seen you for a few days. Do you miss me, Yin Chujio, who is as beautiful as a flower? I have something to tell you. Today, two men came to the spirit herb garden. One of them was dressed in red while the other was in black. The one in red was pretty good looking. Chapter 222. Black Thing. I won't forgive you. When the poor Supreme Emperor heard the words beautiful as a flower, he was in a good mood and amused. This black thing was still as thick-skinned as ever. However, when he heard the last part, he lost his composure. What? A man in red? She even praised him for being good-looking? It was reversed. It was really reversed. The black thing had forgotten what she had told him. Di Biming was so angry that he almost crushed the voice transmission talisman. Di Biming took out the voice transmission talisman and said angrily, Black Thing, just you wait. I won't let you off. Yin Chujio noticed that the voice transmission talisman was trembling, and she sent her spiritual sense into it anxiously. Then, she heard Di Biming gnashing his teeth. She was stunned at first, and then she was also angry. She angrily put away the voice transmission talisman. What the hell? You gave me the jade pendant, and you can't spare me even after it was cracked. To think that I wanted to thank you properly. Gigolo, you're so petty. You're so annoying. It's best if you never appear in front of me again. I can get rid of that strange grass by myself. Humph. Yun Chujio cursed the gigolo a few hundred times before she started to cultivate again. Di Biming thought that Yun Chujio would use the other voice transmission talismans to explain to him. But there was still no developments in the middle of the night. He was so angry that he was spinning in circles. Unfortunately, he could not leave then. Otherwise, he would definitely teach the black thing a good lesson. Di Biming took out Enfeng's voice transmission talisman. Keep a close eye on the black thing. If anything happens, I won't let you off. Enfeng was afraid of being discovered by the mighty figures of the Spirit Radiance sect. Moreover, he reckoned that there would not be any danger within the sect. Therefore, after Yun Chujio entered the pill refining room, he only stayed outside to observe the movements at all times. He only vaguely heard that someone had barged into the spirit herb garden. After hearing Di Biming's message, he thought that Yun Chujio had told His Excellency everything. So he replied, Your Excellency, I'll guard it to the death. Don't worry. When Di Biming heard that, he confirmed the fact that Yun Chujio had hooked up with the man in red. He was so angry that he did not sleep. He began to spar with the secret guards. The guards were so depressed that they almost vomited blood. How was this sparring? This was simply a one-sided beating. Which blind person had offended His Excellency? The next day, Yun Chujio went to Elder Chi's courtyard anxiously. When Elder Chi heard about this matter when he returned this morning, he did not blame Yun Chujio. After all, the other party had come prepared, so he could only sigh at his bad luck. Sigh, this old man originally needed this golden thread grass fruit to refine a 7th grade spirit replenishing pill to repair my spiritual sense. It seems like there's no hope. I can't help it if my luck isn't good. Elder Chi, is this golden thread grass the only one we have here? Yun Chujio was a person who liked to be coaxed, but not forced. Seeing Elder Chi like this, she felt a little guilty. If only I had put the fruit into the jade box earlier. Then it wouldn't have been stolen by that red-clothed pervert. Elder Chi sighed. The place where this golden thread grass grows is very secretive. This one was obtained by chance when I went out for training. Then can it bear fruit again? Of course it can. However, they bloom once every 100 years, bears fruit once every 100 years, and ripens once every 100 years. I probably won't be able to wait until then. Elder Chi sighed repeatedly and entered the house dejectedly. Yun Chujio entered the spirit herb garden with her head drooped. Looking at the bare branches of the golden thread grass, she muttered, Sigh, could it be that I can only wait for another 300 years? If only there was a way to speed up the ripening process. Chapter 223. I am a male bird. Just as Yun Chujio was mumbling to herself, the strange grass in her dantian started to become restless. Yun Chujio had no choice but to take a look inside, only to see that it was trembling nonstop, as if it was having cramps. Yun Chujio was delighted. Could it be that this strange grass was about to choke? That would be great. It shook for a while, and then a drop of crystal clear liquid seeped out from one of the leaves. Yun Chujio subconsciously reached out her hand, and that drop of liquid magically appeared in Yun Chujio's palm. Little Black kept shouting in the spiritual beast bag. It smells so good. It smells so good. Master, what's that smell? It smells really good, just like the smell on your body. Yun Chujio was stunned. The grass kept urging Yun Chujio with its consciousness, and Yun Chujio dripped the crystal clear liquid on the golden thread grass, although she did not understand why. Then, Yun Chujio was surprised to find that the golden thread grass was changing at great speeds visible to the naked eye. 15 minutes later, the flower bloomed, and another 15 minutes later, the fruit slowly turned from red to purple. Yun Chujio quickly took out the jade box that Elder Chi gave her yesterday, and put the fruit away. Yun Chujio's heart pounded violently. She seemed to have discovered something amazing. The liquid secreted by the strange grass could actually accelerate the ripening of the herb. The effect was so astonishing. It only took less than 2 hours to accelerate the ripening of a 300-year-old herb. Moreover, it was an earth-grade high-grade herb. Oh my God! She needed to calm down. She felt a little uncomfortable with such an earth-shattering revelation. She needed to be quiet. This matter was too heaven-defying. She must not let anyone find out. Otherwise, it would be a crime to possess such treasure. It would be terrible if someone coveted it. Yin Chujio was stunned for a moment before she began to deal with the aftermath. She carefully broke off the newly grown twig of the golden thread grass, also known as witch hazel grass, and put it into her storage ring, so that Elder Chi would not discover it. As for the fruit in her hand, she could not hand it over to Elder Chi right now. Otherwise, Elder Chi would think that she had caught the thief and had stolen it herself. When I find a suitable opportunity, I will find an excuse to give this fruit to him. At that moment, the strange grass in her dantian started to clamor for food. Seeing that there was no one around, Yin Chujio took out a bunch of super-grade blood coagulation pills and swallowed them. After the grass quickly finished eating, it continued to clamor for food. Yin Chujio swallowed several hundred pills in a row, and it finally calmed down. Yin Chujio could not help but complain. Indeed, there was no free lunch in the world. Although the weird grass secretion was heaven-defying, it was probably formed from the medicinal efficacy of these pills. Its consumption of them was really shocking, and she was almost running out of them already. Yin Chujio once again began to gather resources. She gathered a lot of medicinal herbs and put them into her storage ring. Now, she only needed the east wind of the 5th level of spirit enhancement. Little Black grumbled unhappily in the spirit beast bag. Master, you still haven't told me what it was that smelled so good just now. Did you secretly eat something good? Yin Chujio explained with some amusement. Am I such a tasteless master? It was a drop of liquid secreted by the strange grass in my dantian. It catalyzed the golden thread grass to ripen. Master, you're so ungrateful. Why didn't you leave half a drop for me? That liquid must be good. I was so hungry that I couldn't stop salivating. Yin Chujio pouted. Forget it, I don't think it's that good. Something that can accelerate the ripening of medicinal herbs is similar to the aging pill. If you eat it, you might give birth to another black bird. You're so bad. I'm a male bird. A male bird. A male bird. Little Black protested in grief and indignation. Chapter 224. Bullying our Yin family members is courting death. Yin Chujio and Little Black laughed for a while and continued to collect more herbs. If not for this fellow's fear of being discovered by Elder Chi, she would have moved the entire spirit herb garden into her storage ring long ago. From that day onward, Yin Chujio made use of all the time available to refine the lightning energy released by the strange grass. She faintly felt that she was about to reach the threshold of a breakthrough. That morning, Yin Chujio was about to go to the spirit herb garden from the pill refining room when she heard a few outer sect disciples discussing among themselves. Have you heard? The people from the Heavenly Gates sect are here. Of course I've heard about that huge gathering. I've heard that there are a few pretty female disciples, especially one called Su Yanran. She's so pretty and charming. The Heavenly Gates sect and our Spirit Radiance sect have always been at odds with each other. What are they here for this time? There's not much time left before the Big Four sect's 30-year competition. They're probably here to test the waters. TSK, our sect leader isn't stupid. Why would he reveal his true strength? He's probably just going through the motions. It's hard to say. After all, it's a matter of face. However, if the competition is also between the successor disciples and inner sect disciples, we only need to watch the show and the beauties. Yin Chujio's heart moved. Su Yanran? Could it be the Su Yanran she knew? Was she not in the Drifting Cloud sect? How did she end up in one of the 4 great sects, the Heavenly Gates sect? Perhaps it was someone with the same name. Yin Chujio did not take it to heart. She stopped for a moment and continued to hop toward the spirit herb garden. One evening 2 days later, when Yin Chujio passed by Yin Chua's courtyard, she heard a faint voice inside and knocked on the door. She saw Yin Chuki's face full of indignation. This is too much. That Heaven Gate sect is really too much. That's right. They don't have any sense of decency as guests at all. They're really shameless. Qingxi echoed from the side. Yin Chujio asked curiously, What's going on? What's wrong with the guests from Heaven Gates sect? Little Geo, you don't know about this yet. The Heaven Gates sect sent people here, yes? According to the rules, it's our Middle Peak's Big Kitchen's turn to serve the attendant disciples meals this time. The people from the Heaven Gates sect were all shouting rudely. They're so arrogant. They said that Spirit Radiance sect's meals aren't good, and that we must follow their recipes. They were being so picky even after they were done. It's like picking on the bones in an egg. Alas, they're guests from far away, so we couldn't say anything, and could only endure it. It's too much. Yin Chuki said angrily. Yin Chujo nodded. It's quite infuriating. But it doesn't have to make you so angry, seventh sister. Is there anything else you want to say? When two male disciples came to get their meals, they saw that fifth sister and seventh sister were pretty, so they started to get physical with them. Fortunately, Elder Huang and the others got rid of them. Qing Si saw that Yin Chu and Yin Chuki looked troubled, and took the initiative to speak. What? Fuck. They actually bullied members of the Yun family. They're really tired of living, aren't they? I won't go to Elder Chi's place tomorrow. I want to see who doesn't care about their lives so much that they dare bully Yin family members. Yin Chujo said angrily. Yin Chu aside. Forget it. With Elder Huang and the others, we won't be at a disadvantage. Besides, we'll rest tomorrow and avoid them. Yin Chujo rolled her eyes. Just rest as you usually would. I haven't gone to work for a long time, and I just happened to miss Elder Huang and the others. I'll go to work tomorrow. How could Yin Chu be at ease? After trying to persuade her for a while, she still could not dispel Yin Chujia's thoughts and could only say, since that's the case, then well, I'll go to work. Little Geo, let's make a deal first. You can't cause trouble. They're Spirit Radiance sect's guests. If you offend them, the sect leader will definitely punish you. Fifth sister, don't worry. If they don't provoke me, I definitely won't take the initiative to provoke them. Yin Chujo secretly added in her heart. I would only beat them until their teeth were all over the ground. Chapter 225. You think you're great just because you act almighty? The next day, Yin Chujo freshed up swiftly and went to the big kitchen. Everyone had not seen Yin Chujo for a long time, and greeted her warmly one by one. Yin Chujo started chatting with everyone with a smile on her face. Everyone's words were filled with dissatisfaction toward the guests from Heavenly Gates sect, however. As they were guests, and one from the four great sects too, they naturally did not dare to offend them, and could only swallow their anger. Yin Chujo only listened with a smile, and did not speak. Soon breakfast was ready. Some servants and outer sect disciples came to eat breakfast. The dining hall was exceptionally lively. At that moment a male voice shouted, "Hey! Get the two junior sisters from yesterday come with us. Our elder said that the food yesterday was not bad, and wants to reward you." A male disciple with a hooked nose stood beside the male with a duck-like voice. He was also wearing Heavenly Gates sect's outer disciple uniform. He smiled wretchedly at the side and said, "That's right. Our elder is generous. Hurry up and get the two junior sisters come with us." Elder Huang frowned, and then squeezed out a smile to welcome them. "Senior brothers, I'm the manager of Middle Peak's Big Kitchen. I'll go with you." "You?" Our elder specifically asked for those two junior sisters to go. Is this how Spirit Radiance sect treats their guests? You really don't have us in your eyes. Good. Since we can't invite them, well, bid farewell to your sect master. The male duck voice said arrogantly. The people dining and servants in the big kitchen were all furious. The guests from Heavenly Gates sect was too arrogant. This is Spirit Radiance sect's territory, and they actually dared to act so arrogantly. They really deserved to be beaten up. However, they were using their sect's name as protection, and they were also guests. If they really offended him, the higher-ups would probably blame them. Therefore, although everyone was dissatisfied, no one made a sound. Elder Huang laughed dryly. It's really unfortunate that those two female servants are off duty today, and didn't come to work. It's better for me to go. Don't you fucking understand human language? What are you, an old tree bark, going to do? Do our elders need to see your old face? Cut the crap and quickly find those two junior sisters. Otherwise, I'll throw away these meals right now. I'll say that you've neglected your guests from the Heavenly Gates sect. The male with the duck-like voice cursed. Fuck off if you're not going to eat. You're actually putting on an act in our Spirit Radiance sect. Do you think you're great just because you act almighty? Yun Chujio poured a basin of swill directly onto the male with the duck-like voice and the hawk-nosed man. The man with the duck's voice and the hawk-nosed man were stunned at first. Obviously, they were not used to Yun Chujio's way of attacking people at the slightest disagreement. Then they flew into a rage. Where did this stupid girl come from? You're simply courting death. My surname is Great, and my name is Ant. If you have the ability, you can scold me. Yun Chujio threw the basin on the ground. She was as arrogant as she could be. Okay, Great Ant. I won't let you off today. After the guy with the duck voice was done speaking, he knew that he had been tricked. Yun Chujio giggled. Sigh. Son. You still dare to disobey me even though you know that I'm your great aunt. How unfilial. Stinky girl, you took advantage of me. I'll slap you to death. The male duck voice rushed toward Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio jumped into the dining crowd. Senior brothers and sisters, what are you still looking at? Beat him up for me. If there's anything, just blame it on me. Don't tell me you're just going to let these two stupid pigs run around in our Spirit Radiance sect's territory. The people of Spirit Radiance sect had been holding back their anger for a long time, but they were afraid that the higher-ups would blame them, so they did not dare make a move. Now that they heard Yun Chujio's words, the crowd immediately became excited. That's right. What's the point of Heavenly Gates sect sending so many people here? They're always pretending to be weak. Beat him up. Beat them to death. I've been displeased with them for a long time. That's right. Pretentious bastard. Beat him up. Chapter 226. It is better to have fun together than alone. The man with the croaky voice and the man with a hooked nose cried for their mother and father after being beaten up. They shouted, just you wait. None of you will live. Yun Chujio went back to the kitchen and took a kitchen knife. Then, she jumped behind the crowd and shouted, you're still so stubborn. Continue to beat them up. When you beg for mercy and admit your mistake, only then will they stop. Finally, the two of them could not hold on anymore. Stop. Great aunt, we were wrong. Quickly make them stop. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Restrain them. I want them to draw their names. The crowd surrounded the two of them in the middle. Their hands and feet were tied with ropes. Even if they wanted to run, they could not. Yun Chujio stepped forward and kicked the two of them. Act. Why aren't you acting? You really want to behave so atrociously in our Spirit Radiance sect. Have you asked your senior brothers and sisters to come here? Hand over all your valuable things. Otherwise, they'll cut off your ears. The man with the croaky voice and the hooked nose looked at the kitchen knife in Yun Chujio's hand shining in a cold gleam. Then, they thought of the smelly girl's actions previously. They did not doubt her ruthlessness at all. With a sad face, they poured out the spirit stones and some medicinal pills from their storage bags. That's all. Do you not want the left ear or the right ear? Yun Chujio held the kitchen knife and gestured in front of the two of them. The two of them had no choice but to pour out all their valuables from their storage bags. We really don't have any more this time. Yun Chujio smiled sinisterly and raised the kitchen knife and gestured at the croaky voice. The croaky voice screamed in fear as his eyes rolled and he fainted. Yun Chujio curled her lips, took a piece of cloth and said to the hook-nosed man, I'll read and you write. If you dare to write a wrong word, I'll chop off one of your fingers. Senior brother, untie the rope on his hand. I don't have any ink here, the hook-nosed man said with a sad face. Bite your finger and write. If you can't bear it, I'll chop off one for you. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The man was scared and quickly took a bite of his right index finger. By the way, what are your names? Yun Chujio stared at the hook-nosed man's eyes to prevent him from lying. He no longer dared to be clever and quickly said, My name is Zhang Xiong, and his name is Sun Liang. Then start writing. I, Zhang Xiong, and Sun Liang are in cahoots with each other. We are like-minded, despicable and shameless. We're worse than pigs and dogs. We eat human food but do not act like humans. Ever since we came to Spirit Radiance sect, we've been scheming and sowing discord. We have said many bad things about the disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. In fact, those bad things were all fabricated by us. Fortunately, we met the righteous disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. They didn't despise us for being as stupid as pigs, and patiently taught us the principles of being human. From now on, we will definitely change our ways, and strive to be the ambassadors of the two factions. Sign your names and put your handprints on it. The hawk-nosed man and the duck-voiced man, who had just woken up, signed their names with trembling voices, and put their handprints on it. Yin Chuzhou took it and looked at it. Then she said with disdain, "Your handwriting is really ugly. It doesn't have any nice strokes at all. Go back and practice hard. If you can't write well next time, I'll chop your fingers off." The hawk-nosed man said with a sobbing voice, "Yes, great aunt. I'll definitely practice hard when I go back." "Well, get lost. If anyone wants to stand up for you, just look for me." Yin Chuzhou waved her hand, indicating for them to be released. The duck-voiced and hawk-nosed men supported each other as they limped away. Yin Chuzhou looked at the spirit stones and pills that the two had handed over on the ground. She smiled and said to the crowd, "Although I, Yin Chuzhou, am young, I know the principle that it's better to have fun together than alone. I'll ask senior brother Feng Ming to exchange these things for a few jars of spirit wine. When the time comes, all senior brothers and sisters must come and have a taste." Chapter 227. I didn't make a move, everyone cheered. Junior sister Little Gio, well done. You're really something. Junior sister Little Gio, let us know if there's anything you need help with. Junior sister Little Gio, if the higher-ups blame us, we'll be your witnesses. That's right. Those two scumbags deserve to be beaten up. If they really want to punish you, we won't agree. Yin Chuzhou smiled as she put away the spirit stones and pills. After chatting with everyone for a while, she returned to the kitchen. Old Huang followed behind her, wanting to say something but stopping. He gritted his teeth and said, "Little Gio, go to Elder Qi's place to hide. Elder Qi is a very protective person, so he'll definitely be able to protect you." Yin Chuzhou was amused. "Old Huang, I know you're worried about me, but don't worry. I'll definitely be fine." Elder Huang saw Yin Chuzhou's relaxed expression. Although he was still a little worried, he could not say anything. Yin Chu and the others were also worried. They were afraid that Yin Chuzhou would be punished. Yin Chuzhou patted her small chest. "Don't worry. Don't you all know me? I never do things that I'm unsure of." Yin Chu and the others thought about it. It made sense. It seemed like little Gio was able to accomplish anything. 2 hours later, Master Zuanyuan's disciple came to summon Yin Chuzhou. He said that Master Xianyuan wanted to see her. Elder Huang and the rest were anxious. "Little Gio, those two must have gone back to complain. Master Xianyuan wants to punish you." Yin Chuzhou waved her little claws. It's fine. Oh, go and take a look." She hopped and followed the disciple to Master Zuanyuan's guest hall. Yin Chuzhou stole a glance. Other than Master Xianyuan, the 5 peak masters and some elders, there were also a few unfamiliar faces. They must be the sect masters and elders of Heavenly Gates sect. "Little girl, are you the one who beat up the disciples of our Heavenly Gates sect?" An old man in a long green robe stared at Yin Chuzhou maliciously. At the same time, he emitted a mighty pressure that charged at Yin Chuzhou. The disciple of Zhang Peak felt suffocated by this pressure and almost vomited blood. On the other hand, Yin Chuzhou acted as if nothing had happened as she said with a smile, "A gentlewoman doesn't fight with hands, but instead uses words to speak. I didn't beat them up. If you don't believe me, you can ask them if I used my hands to beat them up." Master Xianyuan looked at the old man unhappily. "Du Gai, the matter hasn't been investigated thoroughly. What is the meaning of this?" The old man in green snorted coldly and retracted his aura. Then he asked the 2 people standing behind him, "Did she beat you up?" The people standing behind him were the man with the duck voice and the hawk-nosed guy. The 2 of them looked at each other. "Master Shi, although she didn't beat us up, she encouraged others to beat us up. She even kicked us twice." Yin Chuzhou curled her lips and said, "Wow, you guys sure backtracked on your words real fast. That's not what you guys said in the kitchen. You even thanked us for being brave enough to stop you from reining in your horses in the nick of time. Master Xianyuan, I have their confession letter here. Please take a look. Yin Chujio was afraid that the confession letter would be snatched away by the green-clothed old man. So she hopped around and personally handed the confession letter to Master Xianyuan. Master Xianyuan opened it and took a look. The corners of his eyes twitched slightly, and he almost laughed out loud. He held back his laughter and passed it to the others. After the people from the Spirit Radiance sect finished reading it, they all looked like they were holding back their laughter. Finally, the confession letter was passed to the people from the Heavenly Gates sect. After Du Gai finished reading it, he was so angry that he almost slapped the two people to death. They actually left such a thing in their hands. What a disgrace. Du Gai sneered and said, "This is a forced confession. Master Xianyuan, we came all the way here, but we have suffered such unfair treatment. Your Spirit Radiance sect should at least give us an explanation." Chapter 228. Yin Chujia, where is your honor? Master Xianyuan asked indifferently. Then what do you want to say? Du Gai glanced at Yin Chujia sinisterly. There are two choices. Either we hand this little girl over to our Heavenly Gates sect to deal with, or we send 10 people from each side to compete. The prize of the competition is 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Master Xianyuan, what will Spirit Radiance sect choose? Yin Chujio weakly stretched out her small claws. Master Xianyuan, may I say something? Master Xianyuan nodded. Yes. Yin Chujio smiled at Du Gai. From the two choices that Master Duga mentioned, I understand that I, Yin Chujio, are equivalent to 100,000 spirit stones. I wonder how sect leader Du Gai wants to deal with me? Why don't you tell me? And if it's not too serious, just give me 100,000 spirit stones, and it'll be at your disposal. Whether it was the people from the Spirit Radiance sect or Heavenly Gates sect, they were all instantly dumbfounded. Fuck. They had never seen such a greedy person. Moreover, aren't you being too shameless? Who said that you're equivalent to 100,000 spirit stones? The two sects are fighting for face, not a mere servant disciple like you. Little girl, if you accept Heavenly Gates sect's punishment, then immediately kneel down and apologize to the two disciples of my sect. Then, you have to withstand a slap from me. Du Gai said with a sneer. If that's the case, then forget it. I'm representing Spirit Radiance sect's honor, and I can't kneel down to two people that are inferior to pigs and dogs. Let's meet on the competition stage. I think you might as well just give us that 100,000 low-grade spirit stones, since you won't win anyway. Yin Chujio was afraid that Du Gai would kill her out of embarrassment and anger. These words were said from behind Elder Chu with her little head poking out. Du Gai was so angry that his face turned ashen. Master Xianyuan, Spirit Radiance sect is really too unruly. A mere servant actually dares to speak to the sect leader of my sect in such a manner. This is really going too far. Master Xianyuan smiled faintly. Du Gai, why bother with a child? I agree to have a competition with you. Men, build an arena on the southern Jade Square. Tomorrow morning, Spirit Radiance sect will have a competition with the Heavenly Gates sect. Du Gai snorted coldly and left with a few people. Yin Chujio, you've provoked a dispute between two sections. You have to take responsibility for it. Master Xuanyuan's face darkened slightly as he said unhappily. Yin Chujio jumped out from behind Elder Chu and said with a smile, Master Xianyuan, you shouldn't punish me. You should reward me. Master Xianyuan was amused. Why should I reward you? Yin Chujio clasped her small hands behind her back and said slowly, I heard that the Heavenly Gates sect came this time to test the strength of our sect. Their disciples are picky and find fault with us. Aren't they just trying to stir up some trouble, so that they can take advantage of the situation, to get you to agree to the competition? Although you and the other peak masters and elders don't like them, it's not good for you to show up because of your status. What about the other senior brothers and sisters? They're also afraid of offending the guests and being blamed by you. So, I saw that this deadlock can only be broken by a shameless person like me. Thus, I encouraged everyone to beat up those two scumbags, and even made them write a confession. In any case, You'll have to agree to the Heavenly Gates sect's competition sooner or later. If I do this, Spirit Radiance sect will go in with honor. When the confession of those two scumbags is announced, no one will say anything bad about us. Moreover, you can even earn 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. This is a good deal, and I've made quite a contribution this time. However, I'm not a greedy person, so it's fine if we split it 50-50. You could just give me 10,000 spirit stones. Everyone else was speechless. We just want to ask, Yin Chujio, where's your honor? Chapter 229. If they can't do it, it'll go up. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched slightly. I can promise you 10,000 spirit stones, but if our Spirit Radiance sect loses, are you also willing to give 10,000 spirit stones? Yin Chujio secretly cursed at the old fox and said with a grin, Master Xianyuan, how can you boost the morale of others and destroy our own prestige? Our sect will definitely win, and will definitely beat the Heavenly Gates sect to the point that they will give up. There's always a contingency plan for everything. If you dare to agree, I will agree to you. Master Xianyuan kicked the ball back to Yin Chujio. Yin Chujio rolled her eyes and straightened her small body. Why wouldn't I dare? As a Spirit Radiance sect disciple, you have to have absolute confidence in the sect. Although I only have a dozen or so spirit stones with me, I can write an IOU and will slowly repay it in the future. Yin Chujio's words immediately won the praise of the people present. Although Yin Chujio was usually not very interesting, she was still very loyal to the sect. Master Xianyuan was very surprised. Yin Chujio was not an ordinary person who was greedy for money. She actually dared to agree? At that moment, the train had left the station, and he could not back down. He could only say, all right, then it's a deal. If you win, I'll give you 10,000 spirit stones. If you lose, you'll compensate the sect with 10,000 spirit stones. You can go back. Yin Chujio hopped back to the big kitchen. Elder Huang and the others immediately surrounded her. Yin Chujio waved her small claws. It's all right. Our sect leader is the most wise. Not only did he not punish me, he even felt that I had been too kind. He encouraged me to be harsher next time. Although everyone felt that these words did not sound like what Master Xianyuan had said, they did not ask any further when they saw that Yin Chujio was unharmed. Yin Chujio strolled around the kitchen and began to collect more items while she was at it, especially when she stole a few large packets of chili and pepper powder. Early the next morning, Yin Chujio brought Little Black with her, and with a rolling pin on her waist, she headed to the Southern Jade Square valiantly. Master, why are you so proactive? Little Black asked in confusion. Are you stupid? We're talking about 10,000 spirit stones here. If the people of Spirit Radiance sect aren't strong enough, it'll personally go up. No matter what, I can't give up 10,000 spirit stones. Master, aren't you afraid that your thunder spirit energy will be exposed? Don't I still have you? When you curse them, the opponent will definitely fall down. When he doesn't get up, he'll throw another bag of chili powder. It will be so painful. Quack! Yin Chujio laughed strangely. The rolling pin shook. What kind of evil master did I follow? Isn't she too sinister? When Yin Chujio hopped to the Southern Jade Square, there were already many people gathered in the square. They were all discussing that day's competition. Yin Chujio used her small figure to squeeze to the front. She took out a bag of spirit melon seeds from her bosom and ate them while listening to everyone's discussion. I wonder who will the Heavenly Gates sect send? If my spiritual power wasn't too low, I would have wanted to go on stage and beat up those bastards. They're all very arrogant. I don't think they will be outstanding disciples. After all, it's just a test. They also want to leave some cards up their sleeves. Well, what you said makes sense. If the people sent out by Heavenly Gates aren't of a high level, I don't think our sect will send out true disciples. That's only natural. I reckon that they would send people with similar spiritual power levels. When the time comes, what will be tested will be their actual combat ability and improvisation. Yin Chujio rolled her eyes. If the two sides were equally powerful, then she would have to teach the people of the Spirit Radiance sect a lesson. They were all too honest. It would be better to be sinister on a battlefield. If they were too honest, they would suffer. Chapter 230. The Spirit Radiance sect was only subpar an hour later. Master Xianyuan and Du Gai arrived. Master Xianyuan stood on the stage and said a few polite words. It was nothing more than welcoming the visit of the guests from Heavenly Gates sect, and some nonsense about friendship first and competition second. After his polite words, they got to the main topic, and the competition officially began. The people of the Heavenly Gates sect were obviously well prepared. Just as Master Xianyuan walked off the stage, a male disciple from the sect jumped onto the stage. I am Wang Dongliang, a new disciple of the Heavenly Gates sect. I am on level 7 of Spirit Enhancement. Who from Spirit Radiance sect is willing to come up and spar with me? The 4 great sects were conducting the entrance test at around the same time. So Wang Dongliang was a new disciple who had entered the sect less than a year ago. Spirit Radiance sect naturally had to find someone with the right strength to go up and fight. Emozwa, a new disciple from the East Peak of Spirit Radiance sect, is going to fight. Elder Chu knew these new disciples better, so Master Xianyuan handed over the task of picking the candidates to him. A male disciple dressed in Spirit Radiance sect's outer sect uniform jumped onto the stage. The two of them cupped their hands and were about to make a move after reporting their names. Suddenly, Yin Chuzhou cried out in surprise. Immediately, both the people on the stage and those around them turned their gazes to Yin Chuzhou. Yin Chuzhou looked around and laughed dryly. I'm sorry. I had a nightmare just now. I dreamt that the people of the Heavenly Gates sect were constantly plotting against me. They were attacking me, feigning death, poisoning, using hidden weapons, talismans, and so on. It jolted me awake. Senior brother Mo, you have to be careful. There are no fathers and sons on this battlefield. You can't be soft-hearted toward him. Wang Dongliang was livid. Why did her words sound so made up? Not just that. Exactly what did she mean by there were no fathers and sons on the battlefield? Who was the father, and who was the son between the two of them? Emozwa was extremely smart, so he naturally understood Yin Chuzhou's implication. Therefore he was somewhat on guard. Sure enough, after the two of them started fighting, and just as they were getting to the heat of things, Wang Dongliang made a feint, and threw 3 golden needles straight at Emozwa's face. If it were not for Yin Chuzhou's warning, Emozwa would have been hit. However, he was already mentally prepared. He leaned back and dodged the 3 golden needles. On top of that, he formed a seal with his hand and 5 wind blades went straight for Wang Dongliang. Wang Dongliang thought his golden needles would successfully hit his opponent, so he was caught off guard. Although he dodged 4 of the wind blades, he was still hit in the abdomen by the edge of one of the wind blades. Wang Dongliang screamed and hurriedly took a hemostasis pill. Then he said with a pale face, I admit defeat. Du Gai's face was gloomy. He sent another disciple to the ring. Elder Chu responded to each and every move, and also sent a disciple with the corresponding strength onto the stage. After a few rounds like that, both sides had their winners and losers. Spirit Radiance sect relied on the favorable location and the harmony of the people. Hence, they had a slight advantage which resulted in a score of 5-4. The next round was crucial. If Spirit Radiance sect won, then they would win the whole tournament. If the Heavenly Gates sect won, then both sides only had one more chance to win. No one had expected that the Heavenly Gates sect would send a beautiful woman to the stage in that crucial round. The woman was elegant and refined, like a fairy who did not belong to the mortal world. However, there was a hint of arrogance on her face. I, a new disciple of the Heavenly Gates sect, Su Yanran, is at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm. Who wants to fight with me? Yin Chuzhou took a good look, and saw that it was really the Su Yanran that she knew. The 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm? It seemed that Su Yanran had some fortuitous encounter. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to advance from the 5th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm to the 8th level in half a year's time. Elder Chu was in a dilemma. Liao Chuan, a new disciple, was only at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm, and he had just broken through half a month ago. Su Yanran was obviously at the late stage of the 8th level. and was just one step away from the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm. We're most likely going to lose this round. Sure enough, after Liao Chuan went on the stage, no matter how hard he tried to hold on for dozens of rounds, he was still hit in the abdomen by Su Yanran. He could only admit defeat. Su Yanran smiled coldly and arrogantly. The Spirit Radiance sect is only subpar. In the next round, Heavenly Gates sect will still send me to fight. I wonder who from Spirit Radiance sect will come on the stage to fight with me? Chapter 231. The Fire Fairy. Yin Chujio Su Yanran's provocative words naturally caused the people of Spirit Radiance sect to be dissatisfied. However, in the Qingxian continent, the strong were respected. For Su Yanran to be able to reach the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement at the age of 15, she indeed had the right to be arrogant. Such a talent would become a successor disciple sooner or later. It was really not something to be underestimated. Elder Chu was in a difficult situation. Spirit Radiance sect naturally had many disciples above the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement. However, Su Yanran was a new disciple of Heavenly Gates sect. If they sent an old disciple, it would be equivalent to showing weakness in disguise. If that was the case, it would be better to lose. Moreover, it was not forbidden for the same person to fight twice. Even though they knew that Su Yanran had taken advantage of a loophole, there was nothing they could do. It seemed that they were really careless. They did not expect that the Heavenly Gates sect would send out all new disciples. They were caught unprepared. Looks like their sect was bound to lose this competition. Du Gai looked at Su Yanran with admiration. Then, he said to Master Xin Yuan with a smug expression, "Master Xin Yuan, it seems that the new disciples that you've recruited this time aren't strong enough." Although Master Xin Yuan was anxious in his heart, he looked calm on the surface. "The competition hasn't ended yet. You're too quick with your words." Du Gai pursed his lips and thought to himself, "What a stubborn duck." He had made this decision after a round of investigation. Su Yanran's strength had crushed all the new disciples of the 4 great sects, so they would definitely win this competition. The people of Spirit Radiance sect could not help but feel a little discouraged when they saw that Elder Chu had not announced the candidates for the stage yet. That was right. Among them, only Liao Chuan was at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm, and he had already been defeated by Su Yanran. The rest were even more useless. Just as the people of Spirit Radiance sect were frowning, someone climbed up the stage along the ladder. "Well, it's getting late. Everyone must be hungry, right? Let me be the one to fight this round. Sect leader, you don't have any objections, right?" When the people from Spirit Radiance sect saw the person who spoke on the stage, and were instantly discouraged. Wasn't that Yin Chujio from the Middle Peak's big kitchen? Wasn't she asking for trouble? Even though you have a lot of bad ideas. The difference between someone at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm and someone without spirit energy was like the difference between heaven and earth. Su Yanran could kill you with one move. The people from the Heavenly Gates sect burst into laughter. "Oh my God, is there no one left in Spirit Radiance sect? They actually brought up a trash without spirit energy. She actually climbed up a ladder. What's that on her shoulders? A young fire-breathing crow. There's a strange-looking stick on her waist too. Fuck, isn't that a rolling pin?" Elder Chu was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. This was simply too ridiculous. If Yin Chujio were to be snuffed out, how would they explain it to Patriarch Linghua in the future? Just as Elder Chu was about to berate Yin Chujio, Master Zuanyuan's heart moved. This little girl Yin Chujio had always been scheming and scheming. Perhaps she really had a way to defeat Su Yanran. Moreover, Yin Chujio had the defensive spirit weapon that he and Peak Master Chu had given her. There was definitely no danger. Since there was no other way around it, why not let her give it a try? It was a last resort. When Master Xin Yuan thought of this, he said in a deep voice, "All right. This round Spirit Radiance sect will send Yin Chujio to fight." Everyone in the sect felt that Master Xin Yuan had gone crazy. Yin Chujio is causing trouble, and you're causing trouble too. This round was definitely a lost cause. Some disciples of Spirit Radiance sect simply left with their heads drooping. They really did not want to see the ridiculing faces of their opponents after Yin Chujio was abused. Yin Chujio, who was on the stage, smiled and cupped her fists toward the audience. There are probably many people who don't know me. Let me introduce myself first. I am Yin Chujio, the Fire Fairy of Spirit Radiance Sect's Middle Peak Kitchen. Chapter 232. The Unbelievable Yin Chujio Fire Fairy? Holy shit. Yin Chujio, do you still have any sense of shame? The corners of her sex members' eyes twitched, and some of them were so shocked that they could not close their mouths. They had encountered thick-skinned individuals before, but for their skin to be as thick as Yin Chujio's, it was truly unprecedented. Was she the one who conferred herself the title of fairy? Those who could be called fairy had at least two conditions. One was that they were absolutely beautiful, and the other was that they possessed superb spiritual power. One would ask, which did she have? The people from Heavenly Gate's sect laughed so hard that they rocked back and forth. A fire fairy. To put it bluntly, was she not just a fire girl? There really must have been no one else capable for them to send a fire girl on stage. Could it be that they knew that they were going to lose, so they decided to just break the rules? Du Gai smiled disdainfully and said, Master Xianyuan, could it be that you think Spirit Radiance Sect is going to lose, so you want this black girl to take the blame? Master Xianyuan smiled faintly. The winner hasn't been decided yet. Master Du Gai, don't jump to conclusions. Du Gai curled his lips. Humph. A trash without spirit energy, and a genius at the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Even those without eyes know who will win. You'd better hurry up and prepare the spirit stones. Master Xianyuan smiled, and did not say anything. He was not sure either. He did not know if Yin Chujio could make a comeback this time. On the stage, Yin Chujio looked at Su Yanran with a smile, as if she did not hear the crowd's discussion. Su Yanran, I haven't seen you for a few days, but you're getting more and more beautiful. You're almost as beautiful as me. The crowd was speechless. Alright, Yin Chujio was really shameless. Su Yanran was also stunned when she saw Yin Chujio on the stage. Now that she heard Yin Chujio said such a thing, she looked at her with disdain and replied, Yin Chujio, didn't you say that Elder Sun Buozhong and Elder Sun took you as a disciple? Why did you become a fire girl? If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely be embarrassed if their background was exposed. Obviously, Yin Chujio was not an ordinary person, so said with a smile, Elder Sun is on a cultivation retreat. Moreover, I want to experience the people's sentiments. Also, I'm a fire fairy, not some fire girl. Su Yanran snorted coldly. I don't care if you're a fire fairy or a fire girl. Once you enter the arena, it doesn't matter if you're dead or alive. I advise you to admit defeat immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless if I accidentally kill you. Kill me? Do you have the ability to do that? 6 mighty elephants couldn't even kill me. And you, a weak little chicken, wants to kill me? You're simply shameless. Yin Chujio hugged her small shoulders and said arrogantly while shaking her legs. Su Yanran had always been proud and arrogant. How could she withstand Yin Chujio's provocation? She was instantly enraged. Fine. Since you're courting death, then I'll fulfill your wish. Su Yanran moved her palm toward Yin Chujio. The people from Spirit Radiance Sect could not bear to watch any longer. It was over. Yin Chujio, this trash without spiritual power, would not be able to dodge this palm. She would definitely die. No matter how much evil tricks she had, it would be useless in the face of such a huge difference in strength. Ha! Yin Chujio was fine. TSK, you're really rude. I was talking to you in a friendly manner, but you attacked me at the first sign of disagreement. You're really shameless. Su Yanran, you're shameless. Not only was Yin Chujio fine, she was even jumping around as she dodged and cursed nonstop. Su Yanran was so angry that she was about to explode. She attacked repeatedly. However, Yin Chujio was able to craftily dodge Su Yanran's attacks every time. Moreover, she was extremely fast. Whether it was the people of Spirit Radiance Sect or Heavenly Gate Sect, they were all extremely astonished. A trash without spiritual power could actually fight against a person at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm For so many rounds? It was really too unbelievable. Did they not say that the difference in strength between levels was like a gully? Why did a good-for-nothing like Yin Chujio look more relaxed than a spirit-enhanced 8th level cultivator like Liao Chuan? You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.